Good morning, everyone. Special welcome to those who have made it to FRCS this morning, and also to our stakeholders who are joining us online in today's very important meeting, call it the vendors meeting. I think a few months ago we had met in our training room. At that particular point in time, it was really not clear from our end, from your end as well, as to how this VMS is going to proceed. But as you're all aware, that we released on the end of last week, release which confirms the consolidation of the phase 1 and 2 of VMS, and also you would note from the public notice a sentence that says that in due course we will also inform on our on the rollout plan for the third phase. So that's just in a nutshell to confirm that your participation and your engagement is really crucial, because without you, we will not be able to roll out VMS. We are grateful that in today's session, we have got Marco from Tata Tech International, who will enlighten you all and us all on the transition to the next version of VMS, which is version 3. So without taking up much time, I'll now invite Rohit Pillai from the VMS team, just to enlighten us on the deadlines. And following that, we will invite the technical team and Marco to proceed with the presentation. Rohit?
Good morning, vendors. I will be presenting a few slides on the version that we are moving. Currently, we are on version 2. We are moving on to version 3. I will be giving you some deadline that we will be working with the vendors, what we call transition to compliance with version 3, V3. I will be just showing the deadlines for the technical parts or the changes that will be required to move on to version 3. Marco will discuss further. Okay, just a few things. VMS version 3 will be rolled out by end of 2024. You'll see the deadlines are a bit tighter, but those are some of the timelines that we have set out so far. All accredited EFD solutions have to be re-accredited. That's another important point to note. Any technical questions, the team is here. Our FECA internal IT team is here as well. And for those that have joined through virtual, you can send the questions as well through the chat. Communication with your clients, we will be relying on all those vendors as well for the changes that is going to happen to version 2 to upgrade to version 3. We will require your assistance in communicating to your clients as well. That's why we said communication to your clients. I mean, FECA will be doing their part, advertising, whatever means we got, we will try and reach your clients as well. But we will also take or need your help to advise your clients as well. And if there is some issues or the client need further clarification, we will be assisting you guys. The next one, temporary, what it means is that while we are transiting to version 3, the version 2 will still continue until such time that maybe by 2020, late 25 or mid 26, or sometimes by 26 we will close off version 2 and everybody should be on version 3. New VMS accreditation environment, which is what called the sandbox, should be ready for testing, if I can say, by December 2024. Marco? Yep. Yeah. And the technical guidelines and completion of technical spec documentation, this will be done by us with our consultants, and it should be ready soon. We're looking at end of this month, it should be ready for all the vendors. A little bit tighter deadlines. And deadlines for registration and completing accreditation, we will be showing on the next slide. There you go. To register on the sandbox by end of 2025. That's a very tough sentence there. If you fail to register, you'll be removed from the accredited vendors list and need to inform that you are no longer on VMS. That's for the vendor to tell your clients if you are not in. Right? The registration process is again same. You need to apply and approval. As normal, you get your current process where you get your software accredited, the same process will still follow. There is no changes to the process. Right, FRCS again will give you the technical guidelines as well. Deadlines to complete re-accreditation is end of June 2025. Applies only to already accredited solutions and same accreditation process. If you fail, then you will be removed from that. These are for these existing vendors, right? The new ones will come onto the new platform, which is version 3. Marco, you want to add on anything?
Yeah, so yeah, just like to clarify, like you already mentioned, the reason why these deadlines are implemented is that everybody who's here is already created solutions in the market. And you have clients who are relying on you, right, to keep them active and keep them compliant with VMS. So that's why we need to impose some deadlines just to clear the air regarding which vendors are still in place. We plan to support their clients in this transition to the new version of VMS, right?
So this, we are talking about the EFD devices
Yes.
and the software, well, the softwares and the hardwares we're talking about, not the POS at the moment, right? This
None of the
clearly
support.
says EFD.
Well, EFD means both POS and E-SDC. EFD is so it's already all the vendors. Doesn't matter, POS, E-SDC, right? This applies to everybody. Yeah, it applies to everybody. And that's why also what Keith mentioned also, this communication is very vital because FRCS will be sending out communication towards taxpayers as well, informing them that the new version of VMS will be up. So they will be aware that they need to upgrade their systems as well. So in order to keep them, not to get them, they're scared whether they will be still compliant or not, we will rely on you to be engaged with them and to communicate and to let them know whether you plan to continue with the support of the new version of VMS. And as I said, these deadlines to complete the accreditation are valid for something you already have in the market, something you already have accredited, and you want to re-accredit it, or if you wish to re-accredit it, then you need to abide by these deadlines. If you have a completely new product that you might want to put out for the new version, then this doesn't apply, right? So if you want to start developing a new product now, something you didn't have on the market till now, that's a different thing. You can start, you just need to register again on Sandbox by the end of January so that we know that you're still active and you plan to work. But if you have an already accredited product, deadline is June. If you want to start another accreditation for a completely new product, you don't have any deadlines for you to work on it for as long as you need. But if something is on the market, then there has to be a deadline for it. And yeah, the new environment, the Sandbox will be up. You will receive a notice, just you got communication from FRCS regarding that one. So until now, everything was done on the FRCS staging environment, all the accreditation, everything you did. There will be a new environment designated just for the accreditation. So, but the user experience will be the same. You will see like the registration process and the accreditation process, and there will also be a developer portal for you available there. So there is no major change there from your perspective. It's just a different environment that you need to register to and that you need to use for accreditation. Yeah, but that's it, I guess. Do you have any questions regarding this production part?
All right. Yeah.
Okay. We can move on. Do you want to switch places maybe so we can? All right, so we will now cover some of the updates in the upgraded version of VMS. And again, just not to make any confusion, we have phase 3 regarding taxpayers, but we also have version 3 of VMS. So it creates some confusion. It's by accident, right? So just to clarify that, right? So phase 3 of the taxpayer enrollment will be decided and set it right shortly, we hope. But this VMS version 3 is already planned. It will be up by the end of the year, right? Now, as I said, we will cover the updates and we will talk about what's new from your perspective as vendors with VMS, new version of VMS. All right. So this presentation is something like a cheat sheet for you. So just like you had complete online documentation for current version, you will also have a complete online documentation for the new version as well. But we wanted to give you this presentation to cover whatever is new, whatever upgrades have been made. So just to make it easier for you to know what you need to focus on while upgrading your devices. All right, so the first one, as you saw in the title, this section will cover both POS and E-SDC, right? So something that's new for both type of products. When it comes to new functional requirements, there will be a new invoice type that will be used, advanced invoices that will be used for purpose of deposits. So these will be issued to cover cases when deposits are made. So there will be an advanced sale and an advanced refund that will be used in addition to the already existing invoice types. And the FRCS will, like Rohit mentioned already, the FRCS will compile a technical guideline for accreditation document. It will be published right on the website as well. And the details of how the advanced invoices could be used and the cases will be clarified in that document, right? So that will all be up and by December. So you guys can go through it and read it, and then you have time to register until the end of January. Now, when it comes to the configuration, right, the information that you receive from TechScore API, right, the information you receive from VMS regarding configuration of your devices, we have two new endpoints, right? So you have the current ones, which will remain, but there are two new ones that were added on the VMS side. One endpoint for tax rates, which will return information about the defined tax rates for that environment, right? So you can use that one to get the information. And the one that will encryption certificate is the one that will return the public key to be used for the encryption. All right. Now, what's new when it comes to the communication protocol between POS and SDC? Endpoint get tax authority params is replaced with the new endpoint, as you can see here, right? And again, it will also return information about the environment configuration, and it can be used both with E-SDC and VSDC devices. So POS can use this endpoint or E-SDC or VSDC to get configuration info. When it comes to endpoint for signing invoices, that one is also changed, right? So you can see the old one from version 2. This is the new endpoint version 3. Now, what's new here is that there will be a new optional invoice field in the invoice requests reference time, and this will be used on invoices as well. The purpose of this field is to give taxpayers option to provide reference time if they're, for example, issuing refunds. Let's say I issued a normal sale in 2023, and now I need to make a refund, but the tax rates have been updated in the meantime, right? So I can issue a refund invoice. I will provide the refund, the reference number that you guys are already familiar with, right? The reference number to reference back to the original sale invoice. But I can also add reference time, which will tell what was the time when the invoice was issued, and then those tax rates that were valid at that point can be applied for the refund invoice, right? So E-SDC will know, I need to apply this old tax rate, so as not to have mismatch. This will be optional, right? It's always optional. In case taxpayers don't use it, then the currently valid tax rates are applied. Another new thing is multiple payment types on one invoice. This was not an option till now, but now it is an option. So then taxpayers will be able to split payments between multiple payment types and define how something is paid. There are additional HTTP headers. You will see this in the documentation when you start reading it, and the response model from SDC has been updated, coming back to the POS. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask at any point. Another endpoint that was replaced from version 2 to version 3 for getting status from SDC. Verified PIN was also replaced with a new endpoint. Attention, get signed invoice, try to get on the last invoice. And the error message the model was also updated as well. So the errors that are returned from SDC back to the POS. So you said we're not going to go into details of each one of these. This is more for your info so that you know what to focus on once you access the updated technical documentation online. You can focus on these things. This should be your starting points. All right. So that was something that was, I guess, relevant for both type of products. We're gonna have now a couple of slides that are specific to invoicing system or POS products, right? So the updates that are relevant to those. A new functional requirement from an invoicing system is to have a transaction or a daily report option for taxpayers. So there is no requirement to submit this to VMS at the end of the day or anything like that. But there will be a requirement to create one upon user's request. If the taxpayers need, breakdown of their daily transactions, that POS can provide that. And I'm guessing maybe some of solutions already have this, right? Sometimes the users ask this from their vendors, so that they might already have it, but in case they don't, so this will be an additional requirement for each POS solution to have an option to produce a bill report. Invoice cancellation. Well, so we will support an option to, if a mistake was made when producing an invoice, to cancel the invoice. And this will also be explained in the technical guidelines for the accreditation. In that document, when it is created, the details of how this is done will be explained. But POS will be asked to support this to make it user friendly, so that the end user can cancel an invoice on one click and say, okay, I made a mistake, right? I produced this invoice, but I noticed that a mistake was made. There was maybe no transaction still, one other transaction. I think I just want to cancel it and then create a new one. And so this will be supported. We will explain how this is done from the POS side, and then once such invoice arrives to VMS, it will be marked as a cancellation invoice, so that we know we don't need to, use these transaction numbers towards reporting. And there is one update regarding the authentication to E-SDC, that the PAC code on a secure element, the digital file secure element, is submitted in the request header, HTTP request header. That's it.
On each request, or it's
For the PAC, a good question whether it needs to be. I can check. Write it down if it's for each request. But we can, all these questions we'll give you answers, so we'll write down.
And just repeat again to
question. Does it need to be does PAC need to be provided on each request?
Or it's just one? I mean, just to initiate the transaction and then maintain the session, something like that.
Probably the second one, that just to initiate, and then as long as the session is active, it shouldn't be submitted all the time. But I'll make sure. I don't want to. This presentation will be shared with you, right, by FRTS, so it will be shared in this presentation, so you can have it. And with it, we will also provide the answers to any questions that you might have. If we cannot answer it at this point, we'll come up with the answers and we'll send you the answers to you. That's it when it comes to POS specific updates in your version. When it comes to updates that are specific to E-SDC, the list is a little bit longer, since E-SDC is slightly more complex, right, than a POS. But we'll go through it together. First thing is, there is a new testing app available on the developer portal called the SC Sign Invoice. And any E-SDC vendor can download it and use it to test sending commands to secure elements, to smart cards, right? So the SDC and the secure element communicate via the commands, so you will be able to test whether this communication from your E-SDC and secure element is working before you apply for accreditation. And again, of course, this is available for free. We're just
It's more like the analyzer.
Sorry?
It's more like the analyzer.
No, it will give you so you will be able to test sending each of the available commands, that are used between SDC and secure element. It will just give you whether, response, whether the communication is. So it's not like sending, so it will be more like manual. You need to input the command and then test whether it's working properly. The SDC analyzer works, so it automatically just run all the tests. Now, when it comes to the communication protocol between E-SDC and text for API, we have the application token, right? So that has been replaced. There's a new endpoint to obtain a token for application. For initialization commands, new endpoint for that one as well. To notify online status, we replaced the endpoint, and there's also one update as well that the request must contain the string true. And the same goes for the endpoint to notify commands processed. New endpoint and also the updates. All right, then when it comes to submitting audit data, right? Performing audits. I added a little note here. This is more of say a guideline note. It's not really something that's necessarily new. This was how it was supposed to be working in version 2 as well, the first note. that the E-SDC time that is provided to the secure element for digital signature needs to be at the same time as in the audit package and verification URL. But we noticed that this has been an issue with some of the E-SDCs in different markets, so we just added that here as a note. Extended the list of invoice statuses returned as part of the response from text core API. So until now, I think on version 3, there was a list of maybe 4 or 5 statuses that you could receive once you submit audit packages. Now we extended that list, and it includes maybe between 15 and 20 different statuses that can be received. So it's a little bit more granulated. So you get a better idea if there is a problem with an audit package that's being submitted. You get a better response back from VMS, so you know what the problem is and you can fix it. We also added the instruction that if you submit the audit package and you receive status 4, that audit package can be deleted from E-SDC local memory, right? So there's no need to delete the local memory anyway anymore if you receive confirmation that it has been received properly. And also when it comes to resubmitting audit packages, that was an issue with some products as well, that they would try to resubmit audit package that cannot be stored, they have problems. So we added the rule that only if you receive status 1 back from VMS, you should try to resubmit it. In other cases, we'll try to submit it back. When it comes to the endpoint for proof of audits, request was, there's somebody waiting to. Request model, so added sum and limits to the request model for this endpoint. See that in the documentation as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. All right, now when it comes to communication protocol between E-SDC and secure elements, CRC, cyclic redundancy check, can be used optionally in this communication to eliminate any accidental communication errors between E-SDC and secure elements, so that's supported as well. We updated the general commands. There are some new commands that will be forwarded to the secure elements. So for example, forward secure element directive that can be used to forward direct commands from VMS. So for example, we'll have an option to block a secure element, from VMS, just by sending the command, the secure element needs to be locked temporarily. There's a command that can be sent, and then we can unlock it at a certain point. Another new command is get last signed invoice, so E-SDC can check with the secure element what was the last invoice that was signed, again to eliminate any duplicates and to get PIN price left on the secure element as well. These are all new options when it comes to communication with the secure element. When it comes to fiscalization commands, again, PIN, how it's sent to in the PIN verify command, that's been updated as well. Updated audit commands, you will see in the documentation, and updated secure elements error codes. So we added some new error codes on the secure element side as well. When it comes to this file-based communication, right, that's done offline, in case there is no possibility of online communication with E-SDC and VMS, that still works the same, right? So the logic and the how it works, and the process hasn't been updated. We just updated the structure of the file system, right? So in version 2, there were 2 folders. So there was one folder, and there was another folder called audit, and then inside of that audit, you would have all the invoices listed. Now we eliminated the audit folder, so everything is stored in a folder, that has the name of the UID and then everything inside. So no major change, it's just a different folder. That's for storing audit packages on the units. And a similar change is for receiving commands, again, from VMS. There used to be a folder and then a file inside. Now it's just a file, right, with commands. And here as well, the reporting execution of commands, there was a folder with the results file. Now we just have it. So everything is in the root. And when it comes to data structures, format of the audit package, we added one field in the audit package. So we added the field invoice number. So SDC invoice number will now be part of the information in each audit packages sent. And we added some new documentation pages for a format of the audit data and for a format of the audit proof request. So this is in pages and documentation, so it's easier for developers to see how it should look like. When it comes to commands and data structures, set tax rates, we updated the content and added historical tax rate groups and formats. So now when you receive tax rates from VMS, from Tax Core API, you will receive a list of historical tax rates as well, for the purpose of that reference time that we mentioned before, right? So when somebody provides you with a reference time from maybe 2 years ago, you will have a list of historical tax rates and you will know which one was active at that point. So you will not receive just the currently valid tax rates, you will receive the old ones as well. And again, some new documentation was added for setting configuration command and forward secure element directive. So these are new commands that we needed to add to the documentation for those. All right, when it comes to the standard operation of E-SDC, we updated instructions for creating verification URL. We updated the minimum QR code size. See that as well. We added instruction that English journal has to be part of an audit package, right? So it's not optional, so it has to be part of the audit package if it hasn't been until now. It's optionally returned back to the POS, so POS can, in the English request, it can declare whether they wish to receive a journal back from E-SDC, so that's optional, right? But when it comes to sending audit packages from E-SDC to VMS, this is right, so journal needs to be. And there is some new documentation regarding again standard operation. This is more, I guess, more for your convenience and your efficiency work. So we added documentation to how to extract TINs from digital certificates, how to extract secure element UID from certificates, and how to extract taxpayer information. And so we had some developers and vendors who struggle with this, so we added on how this should be done. For execution of commands from VMS and seeking time on the added instructions to instructions on all of these. All right, and like we mentioned, but I wanted to clarify one more time. This presentation is a cheat sheet, so we wanted to make it easier on everybody to know where to get started. But the complete documentation will be, these text specifications will be online. It will be available just like it is right now. It will be updated version for version 3. You will receive notification when it is up and running, just like when the new sandbox environment is up and running at the same time, this new documentation will be up and running. So it will contain all the technical specs that you need, including these updates and everything else. So you will be able to access it via this directly through this URL, but also from the developer portal. There will be a help icon once you're in the developer portal, whichever page you're at currently, there will be a help icon where you can click and access this documentation directly from the developer portal in case you need more explanation. And that's it. I guess that's the end. Updates. Any questions?
Sorry, one of the reasons specifically I came to this meeting is on behalf of the because our company owns a couple of hotels, right? And I can see on the list of accredited software vendors, there's only 2 that is VMS accredited. One is Roommaster, I believe. The other one is Tech 360, and the third one is MicroStudios, right? All of which, apart from I believe Tech 360, the rest is overpriced. And for vendors who have already invested into reservation system, most of these systems do not want to integrate with the VMS. So where do these people stand in terms of who have invested a lot of any time into getting this softwares.
So I guess this is a question for, for you more than for me.
Okay, in terms of I won't answer your question directly. We note that like the hotel group or the tourism stakeholders, they are on our list for the rollout. We are pushing that right to the end. The reason is we need more consultation with this.
I made a phone call the other day and I was told that this is part of phase 3 rollout.
Yes, it is part of phase
But
3.
it will put later on.
Yes.
It's good to know.
Unlike the last one,
Yeah.
we had like a one date.
Mm.
Here we are trying to segment now the businesses. There are some early adopters that we will put in, I think, the first quarter. Then we'll have some will come in June, September, and right towards the end are the hotels. The reason is because of the very reason that you stated. We need to visit them and identify the technical issues they have and probably come up with solutions. Yeah.
The other question, the last question is how,
If I can just add a comment right to that. Again, I'm not the FRCS, so don't take my answer as, the official stand of the FRCS. But again, if this is an official regulation from the FRCS and the Egypt government, then the vendors who don't want to comply should not be in the market. And that's it. So if you have a vendor who just says, I don't want to support you with that, then you as a taxpayer just need to find it.
story in terms of cooperative, it's in terms of how flexible the software in terms of integration. So if a company is already invested, right, X amount of dollars in the company, I don't think the government would put the company institution. The other way around is you do not have real-time updates. So what the government can do is, for example, if a company is in a financial situation with already invested X amount of dollars, right, then perhaps FRCs can allow to use a simple software and end of the day allow all the sales and invoices to be uploaded to the system. For example, like I said, but there should be some form of
Integration.
the other thing was the ability of the VMS software or developer codes, how user friendly or